Okay, we're holding Ramon to page 211. The Mechaber had discussed the case. Person was sleeping, went to sleep, and then it stopped raining. You have no obligation to go back to the sukkah. Even if you wake up in the middle of the night, you don't have to go back into the sukkah. You could sleep until dawn. Hago. V'yer mishnoso mishu yoshim asukah v'yordu gshomim. Ein tzorech l'shar b'chdei shizkalkel atavshu. We say if you're eating the sukkah, you have to make an evaluation. Is it raining enough that if I be eating bean soup, right, would it ruin the food? If it's to that degree, that's called mitztayer. Then you're permitted to leave the sukkah. Person wakes up in the middle of the night, he feels a drop, right? Raindrop falls on him. Person says, you know something, has it rained sufficiently? Maybe it's not raining enough. I mean, do you have to stay until you get drenched? Or till whatever it is, you have to go get yourself a bowl of bean soup to see if it's going to get spoiled? He says, no. Because when it comes to sleeping, even the slightest amount of rain already creates a mitztayer. Creates a mitztayer. Right? So you see, every function in the sukkah, it's dealt with at a different level of what's considered acceptable, what's considered unacceptable. It's true. But again, it's a different level. You understand? No. There is. We discussed it. You have an older person who's more sensitive to cold. You have a young person, doesn't bother him that much. So the older person leaves the sukkah. The younger person has to stay there. It's not, no. Like we discussed yesterday. Person has to be pampered. Anything less than pampering, he has difficulty dealing with it. You know, the person's spoiled. That's not called mitztayer. Because you want to be treated like you think you're a prince. That's not mitztayer. Mitztayer has to be a reality of mitztayer. It's not a mindset. It's a reality. That's what it is.
What's wrong with a little water in the range?
No, it spoils the soup. It spoils the soup. So if you're sleeping in the sukkah, even a lesser amount of water, right, already, we're talking about, first there's the average person anyway. The average person, you need less rain to create a discomfort than when it comes to eating. The average person. Chalapotim in a sukkah, now this is important, this is Ramah. Chalapotim in a sukkah, v'eni yotzi mishom, einu mekabel of schar. He says, if you remain in the sukkah, you get a reward for it. Ve'enon elo hediotos. You're considered a fool. You're considered a hedjot. Because you're not supposed to remain there. Uchshi yotze min asukah mikoach shomim al yivait v'yetze. This is the Gemara in Avodah Zarah. When you leave, you shouldn't leave like, with a level of disgust. Here I tried so much, now God has forced me out. Elo yetze kinichna. You leave as if you're being humbled, in a humbled state. Ke'evet shemoges mosei go kos l'rabo shroch ponov. Right, the Gemara Mishna says that when it rains on Chukas, it's a simon kololo. It's a curse. What is it analogous to? You have a servant wanting to dilute the wine of the master, and the master takes the cup of water, throws it back in the servant's face. I'm not interested in your service. So you should feel humbled that Hashem is rejecting. You're trying to do a mitzvah, and Hashem says, I'm not interested. It's kenichna, yaitse kenichna. You should go out with a level of submission. Ke'evet shemozikos l'rabu shroch al ponov. Let's see the Mishna Berura. V'yer mishnoso pirish ma'atzmo vein tzorach lakitzo. We're speaking about a person, he wakes up because the slight amount of rain woke him up. That's why he woke up. Gamin mechuyev limser shnoso lachem sheiketzu b'ksher hayom. We said that you're permitted to stay in the sukkah if you go to sleep when it was raining. Even if it stops raining in the middle of the night, you can sleep until dawn. What about dawn comes and you have a member in the household? Does he have an obligation to wake up the person who's sleeping? He can sleep beyond dawn. Meaning, if you wake up at dawn, then you have to go into the sukkah. Right? Chol hapotur.
Why are we differentiating? Because during the day, if it starts raining and you want to take a nap, you're going to go in the house and take a nap. So why here is so different?
Again.
Meaning, he went to sleep during the night, and throughout the night.
We're not discussing. What would be? It's rained during the day. Goes take a nap, and it stops raining. Do you have to interrupt your nap? Go back in the sukkah? Maybe yes. Not sure. We're talking about where you didn't take any bedding, right?
So if he wakes up on his own.
At night, the period of sleeping is nighttime. So in the middle of my sleep, I should go. That's already too much. During the day, it's a nap. It's a whole different level of disruption. But it's interesting. You have no obligation to wake up the person. I mean, the person is nonus, right? What would even be the consideration to wake him up, right? The man had a right to go to sleep when he went to sleep. Now he's sleeping beyond dawn. He's not doing. Can you tell me he's doing an isser? He's not doing an isser. No, because there he has an obligation to say Shema. Chalapotur go mitzdayer. Uproti din mitzdayer v'od lekam sim tofrei shmem ein shom. Person who's exempt, absolved because of discomfort, he stays there despite that. He's considered hedyotos. Kal v'chomer zeh misharotz lach mishyordim g'shomi v'leilech l'sukkah l'vorach shom. He says definitely a person, he's in the house, it's pouring, and he wants to go to sukkah to be able to say leisha b'sukkah. Hamotzi ubirchas leisha b'sukkah v'akach lechol b'bayis. Davi brochel levatolo. Yeah, you have people. They say, you know, it's pour. We'll go make kiddush. We'll say that most of them will continue to meal in the house. No, not the first day. Afil yochel shabasuka achilas keva ayin ber alocha. What again?
You wake up in the rain and the guy next to you is still sleeping in the rain. It's not bothering him. You have no obligation to wake him up.
You have no obligation, but as a friend, you should wake him up. His bedding doesn't get drenched.
No, but the fact that it's not bothering him. So
Maybe he's a deep sleeper. No, but again, when he wakes up, he's going to be mitzvah. You know, he's going to be mitzvah when he wakes up. But it's not an obligation. It's not an obligation. No, he's not doing anything wrong. As a friend, as a chesed, you should wake him up. Right? No, he's not doing anything. He's sleeping. Again, you're only hedged doing something which is foolish. He's not doing anything foolish. When he went to sleep, it wasn't raining. It's a foolish he didn't wake up because he's a deep sleeper. Right? There's nothing foolish about it. So why should you wake him up? As a friend, you should wake him up because by the time he wakes up, it's going to be too late. He'll be soaked from the rain. Okay, let's see the Mishna Berura. He says, "Cholapotim and asuka." Excuse me, bi'aralocha. He says, if you're exempt, you're called a hedjit. Zaklal udavke moku sheish bo tzad yisur. This is only if you're doing something wrong. We said earlier that a person who drinks even water in the sukkah, well, you have no obligation. Harizah meshubach. Well, if you're not obligated, you know, because there's no issa to drink water in the sukkah. There are two levels. There's obligation, you're not permitted, and you're permitted. So water, fruit, vegetables, all that, you're not obligated. But there's no provision. Kamoshi mitztayer, very chilu yomtiv. Yeah, why? Mitztayer is chilu yomtiv. It's interesting what he's saying. On Yom Tov, you have to be in a state of joy, pleasurable state. Put yourself in a discomfort, that's a violation of Yom Tov. So what about Chol HaMoed? Vafil Chol HaMoed, Chayv L'chabdo. Even Chol HaMoed, you should be not in the state of discomfort. Aval Einu Mitztayer, Rashoy Lachmir. Morag Mliu She'echmir, Alatzim B'dli Shel Mayim. V'mahalum L'sukkah. Let's say a person, because of his special level, he's sleeping in the house, and it's a tremendous inconvenience to shift the bedding back in. He wakes up middle of the night, he wants to go back in the sukkah. Right? Is he a hedjot? Right? You're not obligated. Is he hedjot? He's willing to make the effort because he values the mitzvah. He says you're permitted. Because for him, he sees this. It's not to sit in the rain. Sitting in the rain is a discomfort. You're not permitted on Yom Tov to be in the discomfort. So to do the mitzvah in a state of discomfort, that you're not. But to inconvenience yourself, to get there, and to shift everything back, that's my prerogative. For me, I feel that's a privilege. I feel, I would do it for a special person. I want to do it for the mitzvah. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people feel, it's a burden. It's asking too much. Person's a tzaddik, it's not asking too much.
Then what about his friend who sees him doing it, and he doesn't really want to do it.
That's what he's trying.
It's like
You never find Marazai where somebody does too much.
not Marsan, but it's like should I be doing that if he's doing it?
You learn the halacha. You learn the halacha. You learn the halacha. You learn the halacha. Whether you're mechuyev. Halacha says you're not. Why is he doing it? He wants to be machmir. Marzai is always when somebody does the wrong thing. But I'm just explaining the difference. He wants to do it. That's his prerogative. He wants to do it. Do more. I'm not obligated to do more. It's like you're saying, you shouldn't learn more than so much time because people think that you have to learn more rather than less. Same thing. Hedyotos. I'm Mishna Berura. Succos Yaakov Dirali Madamidu Shenu Elam Masa Hedyotos Vein Makabel Socher. Davke Shepoter Beise Yeshiva Gon Shemitztar Chodome. He said we refer to a person as a hedjot, as a fool. That's only he's exempt because of the level of discomfort. It's raining. God says, I'm not interested in your service. And the person, what? Could you force yourself upon your master? The master is shown he doesn't want his service, his servitude. It's a disrespect. The master says, I'm not interested in your service. And the servant says, but I want to serve you. But what about if it's just a tircha? It's an inconvenience. That you get schar because he's showing you dedication. Let's say a person's sukkah collapses. And now he has to find another sukkah in the neighborhood to eat. Normally would he be exempt? It's mitzvah. But he chooses, I'm willing to make the effort. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
That would be like someone sleeping when you wake up.
It's no different than drinking water in the sukkah. We said it's praiseworthy. Here, the inconvenience precedes the mitzvah, right? When you're in the sukkah, there's no discomfort any longer. So it's not, in the context of the mitzvah, there's a discomfort. If you're exempt from the sukkah, well, you don't leave the sukkah. So where's the state of discomfort? In the sukkah. You're exempt and you don't leave. Then you're doing the wrong thing. But what about if the inconvenience precedes the mitzvah? When you're doing the mitzvah, you're fully in comfort. There's no discomfort. There's nothing wrong. Even though you're not obligated, but you're not called a fool. You wake up in the middle of the night, you have to transfer shift all your bedding back. Or you just moved into the house because it was raining. You started the meal, then it stops raining. It's tremendous inconvenience. You have to shift everything back into the sukkah. The halacha is you're permitted to finish the meal in the house. The person says, I want to continue in the sukkah. There's nothing wrong with it. That's hareza meshubach. That's praiseworthy. Because now when he's back in the sukkah to eat the meal, is he mitzvah? The mitzvah, it precedes. The mitzvah is not in the state of mitzvah. So therefore you're not a fool. God doesn't demand it of you. But does it show you dedication? It shows you dedication.
Maybe this seems to be the same point with the bed. Like he's
What?
It seems to be the same point that he made with the bed. He's just making it, giving you more examples. Like, I don't know why did he go?
Correct.
It seems like this is how chumras get instituted.
Yeah, this person goes, he could buy himself a tin menorah. for $1.50 spends with the price of silver $2,000. This chumrah, it's unbelievable how people are machmir. You know, if you could be yotzu with $1.50 more, what are you spending $2,000 on menorah? These chumras, you know, it's just too much already. What's chumrah? Chumrah is the way where you want to put the chumrah.
If you are obligated, if you can't go back to the sukkah because that's showing that you really...
You're not obligated. A person who shows his dedication, I mean, he's a tzaddik. You want to be a tzaddik, that's your prerogative to be the tzaddik. God doesn't demand from everybody you should be the tzaddik, as long as you do the right thing. God doesn't say you have to go the extra mile for me. If you go the extra, that shows special dedication.
Right, so that says something.
It says something about the person. It says something positive about the person. I'll give you an example. The halacha is that if you have a minyan, the only minyan available to you is more than a certain distance. 4 mil, more than 4 mil. In the direction you're going, more. You have no obligation, that would have been you. You have no obligation. It's too far. Person says, I will walk the extra mile to make sure that would have been you. Right? The halacha is you have no obligation. Person says, regardless, if I have to walk 10 miles, I will not pass on the opportunity that would have been you. So what that person who has that level of dedication, what does it say about that person? He's more dedicated. Okay, good. That's what we're saying exactly here. You have no obligation, but despite that, you say, nevertheless, I still want to do the mitzvah. Shows special dedication. When I'm doing the mitzvah, I'm not mitzvah. I'm not in a state of discomfort. Sit in the sukkah when it's raining. That's doing the wrong thing. Then you're doing the wrong thing, because you're violating Yom Tif. You're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to be in a state of discomfort. Here, it's the inconvenience which precedes the mitzvah, making the effort. But once I'm doing the mitzvah, there's no effort any longer. Right? You're in the sukkah as anybody else will be in the sukkah.
So even if you're tired, when you're getting back out to the sukkah, that's okay.
That's okay. That shows dedication. That's exactly what he's saying.
That's because before you entered the sukkah, you mitzvah.
Right.
Not in the sukkah.
And the mitzvah is not in the state of mitzvah. It's only because over here, because he says you're in violation of Yom Tif. Because in Yom Tif, you have to be a state of...
If it's present.
If?
If discomfort, if trouble.
Right.
Is present.
Correct.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
No, here the mitzvah...
Why are you going to spend $700 on it? Man can afford it. That's trouble. You're giving him trouble. We don't say...
It doesn't trouble the person if he's willing to make that expenditure.
We say it's an aspect of it.
Right.
Even though...
But it's hidden. It's not mitzvah.
No, but it is. I mean, at a certain level. I mean, he's spent money where he didn't have to spend. But that was his pleasure.
Okay. It's always.
So the same thing with this person. He didn't have to do it, but it was his pleasure to do it.
But let's say it's his pleasure to sit in the sukkah and serve God despite the fact he's in a state of discomfort. That he's not permitted to do.
Well, we've established.
Yeah.
The gate there is closed.
But when it's in the sukkah in the past, we've said that it's because you wouldn't act in your house that way if it was raining in your dining room. You would go to a different room. You would leave it. So that's how we haven't focused on. I mean, to me, it seems like there's a new concept here that it's tired, that it's still beyond it.
That was a new concept for us.
And I don't know if we generally apply that to other mitzvahs. Forget about financial, but actually effort, where it's, you have to walk 10 miles to get in that service.
Put it this way, this kind of person, even if it would be raining in his house, if it would be in a context of mitzvah, he wouldn't leave. It's the same type of person. It's that type of person. An ordinary person, you're right. And if you would leave that room, you leave the sukkah. But in the context of mitzvah in the house, this type of person would remain there. read in Europe, there were people, that there's a story of Reb Shach, Zechat Tzadik Lebrocha, that he attended a funeral of a person who was a very ordinary person. He must have been in his early 90s. And he told one of his people who assisted him, you have to get a cab, we have to go to Ramat Gan, there's a funeral. Come to the funeral, he said, it must be somebody special, Go. Ordinary person, ordinary people. So he tells over the story that when he was a bocher, came from a very, firstly he was an orphan, came from a very poor family, he had nothing. And he came to, I think his first issue was he came to Bialystok. He was a young teenager. Sub-zero temperature. He was learning the Beis Medrash. And he's shivering, freezing. He doesn't have a coat. He has just a thin jacket. And he's rubbing his body, and he's moving and shaking and just to keep the blood circulating. And a man walks in, and there's day in, day out, and a man finally comes in, and he goes over to him, he takes off his coat, gives him his coat. So Shach says to him, he says, so what are you going? And he went right back out into the snow. It was snowing. He says, what about you? He says, you don't have to worry about me. I'm healthy. You don't have to worry about me. It's important you have the coat. And he didn't want to hear about it. He left him his coat, disappeared, and that was the end of the story. So this is like 75 years later, he's reciprocating, showing his appreciation by honoring him at his funeral. That's the story. So, he's willing to learn. He's in the state of mitzvah, but what would you do? This was his dedication to Torah study, Rav Shach, even as a teenager, and that's where he lived his whole life when it came to Torah. No, nothing was too difficult. But I'm in a state of pain. It's irrelevant. As they say, no pain, no gain. That's the way it is. That's life. So you apply yourself.